What is going on, YouTube? Pass the Prop is back. It is Friday's show. We have a absolutely massive slate today. Joined, as always, by my guy, Stu. How you doing today?
Doing great. Just another Friday. Obviously not the star of the show here today, but yeah, looking forward to another great slate.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Obviously, we're loaded in games today. It was such a big slate. We had to bring on another guest here for you guys. We got Ahaan joining us today. How you doing, man? First time coming on the show. We're lucky to have you over here.
Appreciate you for having me on. It is so hot outside the last couple of days that I had woke up with tight throat. And so I'm so happy that I have an excuse to stay inside all day and work on this MLB slate. Really happy to be on.
Yeah, no, we're like I said, you're a regular in the chat. We always appreciate all your insight there. Obviously, I see your articles and everything that you're writing out for us too. So it's awesome to have you join with us and put a face with the content that you're putting out, and obviously all the comments you leave for us here on the show. But yeah, I mean, last slate was awesome for us. Shout out Cal Quantrill for just being an absolute dump. Oh my God, dude, just gets lit up. Stu catching that one pretty quick.
Yeah, that was like a second inning cash right here. I mean, hell yeah, we'll take that 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, I'm still pissed about this one. I had Acuna. Dude has 2 hits, and for the first time, I think they said I don't remember how many games. I think it was 16 straight of either a stolen base or a homer. He didn't have either one in the game that we talk about, and they just go off, right? I don't even think he got his last at bat. They were up by so much, just absolutely nuking those dudes. So there was that one. How did Mr. Belt do there?
This was rain delayed. This was a rain delayed game. So Belt got pushed today. So this one was a void. So 1-0 and 1.
Yep. And shout out to that freaking long shot, bro. We were close to that 61-1 combo. De La Cruz, Ruiz, both cash. Right, that was a plus 460. That was huge. I am still upset about this one because the Braves easy, right? It was 5-0 in the first 5, and the Dodgers have a guy on second base with 1 out, up 2, couldn't score him, and I'm like, oh my God, if this actually hits, that'd be the long. I mean, we've hit some Kevin Porter Jr., we hit some long ones, we got some crazy odds on some of these, but I don't think 61-1 has been in the bag yet, so. That would have been epic. That would have been a crazy one to hit. But damn, Dodgers can't beat the Pirates by 4 in the first 5.
Yeah, no, it's always good when you get past the Mike Soroka portion of the bet. Like, I love the Braves offense, and I'm just like, is Soroka going to hold on? He did end up holding on. It's always good to be live going into that late game, though. You got all that money. You see it in your bank account. What am I going to spend it on? New pair of shoes, maybe play some basketball tomorrow, and then it all gets taken away from you slowly. But hey, that's why we're back here on Friday to try it all again.
Yeah, dude, so close yet so far away. But let's take a look here. We got 20 of you guys in here in the first couple minutes here. We appreciate you guys. If you could hit that like button, we really appreciate it. Goes a long way for us. And I guess we get right on into the slate. It's going to take a little bit to get through this one, just with all the games that we have out here. Ahaan, you're the guest. We'll get you to start talking to us first. What is that game that's catching your eye when you look through this massive slate?
Well, for starters, the Rangers catch my eye just because they were in Fenway Park for a few days. I saw some of the players walk into Fenway yesterday because I was walking by Fenway, and a couple of them were wearing hoodies in 90-degree weather. So you could say they are kind of locked in, and I'm betting on one of them today. And then now they go face the Nationals, my second favorite team. So that one obviously caught my eye. And the Rangers offense is an interesting look today with Trevor Williams on the mound. And then the other game that I really am interested in is the Braves-Rays series, this entire series. So before the season started, I placed 2 World Series futures. And neither of them, I never place a ticket on the most chalky team. But I laid the semi-chalk with the Braves, and I paid plus 2,000 on the Rays. And they are 2 of the best teams in baseball right now heading into the All-Star break, although the Rays are kind of reeling. That line is super interesting. And spoiler alert, I think this is an absolute slugfest, maybe like an 11-10 game. So I'm very interested in seeing how this game and the rest of the series play out.
Yeah, I love that you brought up that it was chalky at plus 2,000. Like that's that's hilarious. So that's the chalky.
The Braves. The Braves
Yeah.
were the chalk at plus
Yeah.
850. Yeah.
Yeah, and my thing is what happened to this Rays bullpen, bro? Like I've been watching all these games, and I'm like, okay, maybe I get that live line because last year I would make so much money when the Rays are down 1, their bullpen would just shove and they'd come back. And now this year their bullpen is just so many like implosions happening in that bullpen. So I think we could see some crazy fireworks out there, and obviously, hopefully, we get a couple good ones. I'm excited to see Strider throw in this series too, because I'm pretty sure he's getting, I think, game 2 in this series. So that one I'm really excited to watch there. Stu, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I think that's probably got to be mine. But since you did take it, I'll go with a divisional matchup between the Phillies and the Marlins right here with obviously 2 of the best pitchers on the slate. Wheeler, a guy who has been shoving recently. You're starting to see some people on Twitter maybe get some of those, Cy Young tickets even at the very nice prices. And then we all know Sandy obviously started out the year a little bit slower, but working into a little bit of a groove now. I'm very interested to see if we see a pitcher's duel right here between 2 top-end guys or these offenses that are warming up a little bit start to take over. But yeah, that Rays game is probably going to be the big screen as well. I might have to, maybe, I don't know, Summer League tonight. It's going to be interesting how we allocate all these screens. But yeah, definitely love the slate.
All right. Well, I'll forget about the Summer League take. I will just kick over to some baseball here. I got to go Castillo again against the Astros in Houston. I'll be talking about that one in my long shot for today, but I think that's going to be a great series. I just love this slate for the fact that, do we even count Oakland as an MLB team anymore? I'm not gonna. But outside of them, all these games are close, man. I think the other biggest one is like minus 170, right? We have Cardinals at minus 115. You got this game at minus 115, right? You got a minus 120 in the Brewers game, right? You got minus 130s. We got the Pick'em in Atlanta, right? There's so many close games today. But that one definitely catches my eye for action there. Hopefully we see Hunter Brown get back to what he was doing at the beginning of the year. And Luis Castillo, obviously a darling of the show, or maybe just for me, just because I bet on almost every time. So I don't know how much Stu likes him anymore after he cost us a couple when he's just been giving up absolute nukes lately. But I think it'll still be a good game and a fun matchup with this Astros team finally starting to pick it up a little bit.
Yeah, no, 100%. And yeah, obviously Castillo is a little bit more bumpy this season, but we got those season-long futures. So we're going to need the comeback to start today, baby, in prime time.
Yeah, it's going to need it quick. I will not have a bet in that Tigers game. I was just happy when I was taking the A's against them, bro. I was just taking the A's religiously in that series when they played the Tigers there. Honestly, I didn't even look at that one with they got Faedo on the bump against Manoah. Ahaan, I'll kick it to you here quick. What's your thoughts on that game with Manoah coming back after that 11? You got pieced up in like low rookie. Like it wasn't even, it's like spring training on like training wheels.
If I end up with exposure on that game, it'll be purely player props or just targeting specific hitters for whom I like the matchup against probably Faedo. I don't want to mess with Manoah today because he looked pretty solid when he played the Portland in AA, but I thought it was a little quick, the trigger they pulled on bringing him back. So I'm not there to see what his stuff is like, and I'm not trying to be that guy that tries to, read these Vegas lines, which are in these situations almost always sharper than we are. So I'm trying not to touch that game, but we will see what happens. The line is super interesting. The fact that the Tigers, they're plus money, but they're not that plus money. It's kind of interesting, especially with the Blue Jays. They played a doubleheader yesterday. They used their bullpen heavily. It'll be interesting. This Tigers bullpen is not bad. I will say that.
That's like the best part of their team.
Yeah.
Sue, are you going to be fading Mr. Manoah today?
There's this is interesting, right? Because obviously getting crushed by a summer league team is like hilarious, like whatever the equivalent of, single A team down there. But at the same time, that's one of those things that I do think from a narrative perspective can go crazy, right? And people really think that's the whole story right here. In reality, I don't think we have any clue how good Manoah is going to be when he comes back. What I will say is, like Ahaan just said, I feel like they pulled the trigger too quickly. If you want to give a guy a break, let him ease back into things, face some easier competition, then commit to it. Don't just send him down there, let him get crushed in one outing, pitch him one more time in single A, and then send him right back up. I don't know. Seems a little bit weird. I feel like if you're going to commit to it, commit to it. But hey, maybe they saw something. Maybe he's going to light it up. Who knows? But the Tigers, is that the team that's going to kill him? Probably not.
Well, this is funny because you guys bring that up. I bring it up because why wouldn't you bring him up against the Tigers? You're probably going to be like, probably less people at this game than at a minor league game, right? Yeah. I mean, there's probably like 5,000 people here going to that game to watch that one. So I think this is the best spot, right? You don't want to bring him back at home when he's getting lit up, have everybody see him there. You get to travel to Detroit, man. I mean, it's chill, right? You ain't got to worry that much about getting like booed by everybody, right? They'll probably be cheering when you're sucking up there. All right, let's take a look at the chat here, guys. We're 11 minutes in. We're going to plays here next. Let's take a look. Got Keaton in here showing some love to our boy Ahaan out here. Happy to see you joining us today. We got, I know, 61-1, man. That's gonna haunt me for a little bit. We're talking with Cashville out here. Jimenez from the Guardians, nice numbers. I gotta check that game. I didn't even look at. Honestly, Guardians games I usually, unless it's against Jordan Lyles, I usually just don't even look at them because it's such a tough game to watch. Right? It's like watching a Brewer game, man. If you're not a Brewer fan, dude, their games are, not as entertaining as many other ones there. Terrence bringing up might be a good idea to ladder those runs. Yeah, I mean, we've been doing pretty well on those alternate totals in the first 5. Jimmy bringing up White Sox fan. It worked for Luis Robert. Oh, yeah, we went down early. They benched him, and now he's on one. He's just on fire now. So hopefully it is a wake-up call for him because obviously he was like in the Cy Young race. He was just like, a year or two ago. So it's just that fast how quick it can turn here. Ahaan kind of brought up the Rangers there first. I'll kick it over to him to start us off with the play. Obviously, we love this guy on the show.
Yeah, so I see a lot of people on Corey Seager already, or early in this game for good reason. They're facing Trevor Williams, and he is worse against left-handed hitters. But I will take the somewhat of a discounted price for Adolis Garcia. I don't see why he's discounted. Trevor Williams still bad against right-handed hitters, and you look at what Adolis has done recently. Over the last 30 days on the road against right-handed pitching, he has a 142 WRC plus, 314 ISO, which means a lot of his hits are extra base hits, at a 46% hard hit rate against right-handed pitching, in that span. And Trevor Williams, what does he do? He attacks the strike zone, even though his stuff is not good. So that's why I like the total bases here, is because Adolis will take his walks. He's not whiffing as much this year, but Trevor Williams is probably not going to walk you. Just a 6.8% walk rate against right-handed hitters, 427 xFIP, 503 slugging allowed, and his hard hit rate also goes up against right-handed hitters. Essentially a 3-pitch guy, 4-seam slider, sinker, and I like to look at the pitch repertoire to see, how tough of a matchup it might be specifically for Adolis. Well, he has a 501 X slug, 523 X slug, 590 X slug against those 3 pitches. So I'm not too worried about Adolis Garcia. One hard hit ball should do the trick here. And even if he doesn't get it against Trevor Williams, this Nationals bullpen, still not good. Last 30 days, they ranked number 27 in Sierra overall, which is a more predictive version of future success for pitchers. And number 25 in xFIP against right-handed hitters. So I can see him getting this against Trevor Williams or getting this late in the game.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I absolutely love this spot. I mean, Trevor Williams, I think you nailed it. He's one of those guys that even despite the fact that he doesn't have elite stuff, he does attack the strike zone, which is the kind of pitcher we love for batter props because as you guys know, walks are really one of the most annoying things you can get. So we've got a guy, sinker, especially fairly heavy sinker usage recently. What's so far, I think Adolis should have a very good game right here. I'm just a big fan of this Rangers team in general, and you did nail it at the end too. Washington had to use a lot of bullpen yesterday. Mackenzie Gore only got to pitch 1 inning thanks to that stupid starting the game before an hour-long thunderstorm. Great job, DC. You guys nailed it again right there. But yeah, got Gore out the game, had to use the whole bullpen, and that's all their good guys too. Mason Thompson had to go 2 innings, who's one of their key 6-7 guys, and then Jordan Williams, who's actually been really good recently, has thrown 90 pitches over the last 3 games. So the Washington bullpen's cooked right now.
Yeah, no, and I'm not even gonna bring it up because I was literally about to talk about that exact thing in my play here. I'm on Rangers team total 5.5. This is DraftKings. I was gonna talk about that pen. I don't know why we saw Williamson for the Reds decide he's going to throw an extra 40 pitches after the rain delay, and the Nationals obviously pulled Gore. Obviously, Gore is one of your guys' top pitching prospects, one of the top pitching prospects in baseball. So obviously trying to hold it back a little bit, but. Yeah, dude, that's what sucked yesterday when I bet the first 5 over for this game in the Nationals game, and then they just decide, hey, let's throw our 7th and 8th inning dudes 2 innings, right? Let's just chuck these guys. And now the game that always comes to mind when we were talking about it on the show was when I bet the Rangers and the Houston Astros over for that first 5, and they just destroyed that bullpen, right? That's the thing is the Rangers over the last 15 days, top 5 in pretty much every hitting category, 290 batting average, OPS top 5. These dudes just smash right-handed pitching, right? It's like one of the best hitting teams against righties has hit this number in 3 of their last 4 games. Even with that bullpen throwing all their top guys, they're still ranked 3rd worst in ERA and a WHIP almost at 1.5. Not a team I'm really going to be wanting to attack pitching with, right? I mean, this pitching staff is sorry, Stu, not very good. I'm sure you already know that, but hey, it makes the games more entertaining, right? So. I'm going with the Rangers. Obviously, I wanted to bet Seager in some way. I wanted to bet Nathaniel Lowe in some way. Jonah Heim. We talked about the lefties against Williams and even Adolis. Obviously, even from the right side, right? You got Marcus Semien and Adolis from the right side, right? It's not like you get any cupcakes there. And Ezekiel Duran is deciding to be almost damn near an all-star over these last month and a half, right? This dude is on fire as well. So up and down this lineup, ton of power. And how hot is it out there, Stu? I'm guessing it ain't cold out there.
Oh my God. Even the 7 a.m. dog walk, out here is 98 degrees. So it's going to be brutal. It's absolutely brutal. I can't see the Nationals winning this game. I think Trevor is going to have to go 6 right here. Like I'm going through my head thinking, who are we going to use in the bullpen? And I'm going to say a name that I don't know if you guys remember, but Joan Adone.
Oh, Joan Adone, baby. Barrel City.
Leagues yesterday. So we might see the absolute fade legend from last year, who everyone blamed Patrick Corbin as the worst starting pitcher in football. When Adone was in the majors, he was the worst by far. So, that could be very, very bad for my fandom, but very, very good for these bets right here.
Joan Adone, right-handed pitcher in a hot environment with the Rangers. And the only thing worse could probably be the Braves. You just bring the Braves out there with Joan Adone. That's pretty much the only other thing. I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. Be ready for those 100-mile-an-hour exit velos galore today from those Rangers. Stu, I don't know. You do have one in this game. We have 3 total spots in this one. Let's kick it over to you.
Of course, had to get some representation for the other side. We're going right back to the Lane train right here. Lane Thomas over 1 hit. Paired that up with a Med Rosario over 1 hit, -128 over on FanDuel Sportsbook. It feels a little bit repetitive at this point to keep getting on the show and talking about how much I love betting on Lane Thomas. But until he lets me down, I'm not going to stop anytime soon. Hit in 21 of his last 23 starts against lefties, hitting way better at home, over 300, even hitting over 300 on the season. So he's actually getting some hits off righties too, just in case we obviously need to depend on that bullpen right here. The thing is, Lane has kind of earned my trust against even elite left-handed pitchers. At this point, give me Clayton Kershaw. I'm taking my guy Lane Thomas, but why fade it when we get a downgrade in Cody Bradford right here, 4.6 ERA? Just a very pedestrian pitcher, baseball savant. Nothing sticks out right here whatsoever. I have no clue why we're getting this at -250. It's normally -300 or worse. I think this is a very good price. There's really no reason for me to hop off the Lane train right here. So perfectly fine sticking with him. I also noticed 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs was an option for the first time. He's been at 2.5 for like a month. So sitting at that -160 price, I might have to pair that up with one of those no-win props. Unfortunately, there's no free square in Jordan Lyles today, but we'll hopefully find something else right there. As for Ahmed Rosario, pretty simple. Finally got some of that momentum, a little bit of a starter slow start to the season right here, but 524 batting average against Lynch right here, over 300 against lefties, over 300 in the month of July, and over 300 over his last 30 days. Great combination of consistency. Ahmed Rosario fits the mold exactly. He's one of those guys that gets on base. He's not a power hitter. I don't care about the home run. I don't care about the double. Slap a single to left field. That's what I want today. Lynch, another pedestrian pitcher, someone we faded multiple times on the show so far. 2 lefty killers in a parlay right here, -128. Give it to me right now.
Any thoughts? You've been on that Lane train with Stu?
I have. I'm not going back to it today because there's another Nationals hitter that I kind of like at price a little more. He goes by the name Stone, looks like a caveman as well, just built like a tank. So I love Stone Garrett today. Might get some exposure to him. Don't know how yet, but yeah, can't go wrong with Lane Thomas. And Ahmed Rosario hit machine against left-handed pitching, but I just know that if I take Ahmed Rosario single today, which seems like the right play, all the numbers suggested, he's going to hit a home run. I just know that. So I support this combination that Stu has.
Yeah, no, and I always love fading me some Dustin Lynch, man. The dude's a kind of a can there. But yeah, we're gonna move on to plays 4, 5, and 6. Again, guys, you got any questions? Drop them in the chat. We'll try our best to get to everything before the end of the show here. And we will keep on moving to plays 4, 5, and 6. Ahaan, we'll go to yours here to start us off on our second round.
So we talk about this Braves-Rays series, and I'm super excited for it. The Rays come into this one with a bit of a losing streak. I bet on the Rays last night in my moneyline parlay, so I had to firsthand watch just how they're reeling. But you talk about this Braves team. Their last 20 games, they've won 19 of them. The one that they lost was the LA De La Cruz game where the Braves were up 5-0 and the Reds came back and won. So that close to a 20-game winning streak. Yet you see this line at Pick'em because the books are giving Tyler Glasnow some respect. Very interesting line. I would be foolish to bet on a game line in this game just because I think both starting pitchers get shelled. I think both offenses just wake up. If you saw this that Dodgers-Rays game a long time ago earlier this season that was at 11 a.m. on Peacock, that was like 11-10, and people were talking about, national game, possible World Series preview, juice balls, et cetera, et cetera. I think we get a similar game tonight, but I'm going to target the number 9 hitter on the Braves, which is ridiculous to say out loud. The best number 9 hitter in baseball. This lineup is just absurd, and I think they get a good matchup against Tyler Glasnow. So Glasnow has ranked in the first percentile in barrel rate this year. Yes, he is the worst barrel rate starting pitcher in all of baseball this year. Nobody hits more barrels than the Atlanta Braves. I think Harris can get this in many ways. He could hit a home run himself, or he could get a single and then be driven in by the top of that Braves offense. The Braves, they rank number 1 in run value per 100 pitches against 4-seam fastballs, number 4 against sliders, and number 12 against curveballs the last 2 weeks. That's basically what Tyler Glasnow throws. I don't think there is a matchup that can truly shut down the Braves offense, and we're getting a discount here because of the Tyler Glasnow name, and I don't approve of this discount. We're getting plus money on a prop that is hit in 7 of his last 9 games when a right-handed pitcher starts against the Braves. And Harris, 169 WRC plus, 1019 OPS, 353 ISO, so he's crushing the ball against right-handed pitching on the road the last 30 days, all while walking at only a 2.9% rate. People cannot walk Michael Harris with Acuna coming up. So it just won't happen. Tyler Glasnow is going to attack this guy. And even if he doesn't get it against Tyler Glasnow, like you said earlier, this Rays bullpen, not great. This is not the Rays bullpen from a couple years ago, so lots of routes to get this. We shouldn't be getting plus money.
Stu, you got anything on this one?
Yeah, no, I mean, when you brought this up right before the show, I was like, this guy's such a cheat code in that 9 hole. I mean, I'm obviously a Braves hater right here, so I can't really approve of this. But yeah, it's been one of the most consistent props in the league. Earlier, when you guys were talking about Glasnow, I was going to mention that barrel rate. I opened up the Baseball Savant, and I was like, what? I was absolutely shocked by that right there. But it's one of those cases where the Braves are a terrible team to have that problem against. And like you said, the heavy reliance on the 4-seamer right here, I think he's going to run into a couple problems. I have a bet that we might talk about in the long shot portion, kind of relating to this one right here, but definitely like this prop a lot.
Beautiful. And
I think this is a game where if you want to put a same game parlay, a bomb, that won't be my long shot. Don't worry. I see everybody getting worried that I'm going to put like a 500 to 1 same game parlay as my long shot. But I will look into this as a same game parlay option because if I'm right that both pitchers get shelled, might as well have some long shot exposure on this. And The reason I targeted Harris specifically is because Glasnow is much worse against left-handed hitters. But, these Matt Olson prices are pretty good too. These Acuna prices are always good. So, and I like Wander and Randy in this game as well on the other side. So interesting spot.
They give you so much more value too, just because they know he's batting 9 too. Imagine what this number would be if he was batting 2, right? If he swaps Albies, dude, this is probably 2.5, right? And they're just giving you that big off just because he's batting in that 9 hole. Knowing the Braves are probably still going to have him hit 5 times, like the way they've been hitting, he's still going to get 5 ABs. So I love that spot. Stu, I'll go next. We both got plus money here to finish up. I'm fading my Brewers again. I know I wouldn't take the full game, right? I think the Brewers do have the advantage at home with the bullpen. But Andrew Abbott has been making me money, man. This man has just been cooking. Doesn't matter if he's at home in the smallest baseball park known to man. Ball just flies there. Dude still has a sub-2 ERA there. Corbin Burns on the side for the Brewers. So far this year on the road, Abbott's got a .51 ERA, right? We're seeing a 177 batting average allowed on the road so far this year. Obviously, I don't really need to go into depth on the Brewers' struggles against lefties. It's pretty documented. I talk about it every time I fade them. But put this in perspective, they are now officially 20 points worse in OPS than the Oakland Athletics against lefties. That's all you need to hear, and that's like a AAA, maybe AA team. I don't even know what they are anymore. But Burns, it's always been the problem, right? He's got great strikeout stuff, but he just gives up too much power, and especially at home, right? That's really what it is. If he's not striking you out, he's going to probably give up a homer to you, right? If you look at how he's been this year, a 4.10 slugging to right-handed batters, his backdoor cutter has been phenomenal. That's really what he succeeds on, right? He's able to run that ball back. He's able to cut it off the backside to lefties. And obviously there's a lot of strikeouts to be had here. I mean, it's both sides, right? Strikeout or home run. I expect to see quite a few home runs in this game from the Reds just because he's been just giving up bombs galore this year. But if you go here, this is one thing I wanted to talk about was how bad Corbin Burns has been with runners on base and with guys in scoring position, because that was what he was really good at in his Cy Young year. But with guys on base right now, men in scoring position, he's got a 6.87 Ks per 9 with that coming up here with a 4.72 xFIP. So he's just not been able to get out of those situations that he normally was able to get out of, right? And Andrew Abbott, obviously, he's got good enough stuff. He's got K upside. Probably a guy I'll probably target in DFS. He's not as expensive as I think he should be. And bullpen-wise, I think the Brewers are able to compete, so I'm not going to take the full game. But give me plus money on the Reds at home or the Brewers at home there. I have to go with it. I'm fading them. I'm doing pretty well on fading my team. I also am backing them in certain spots, and it's been going pretty well. So hopefully Burns obviously maybe gets through his normal 6 innings, gives up 3 runs, but I don't think the Brewers are scoring 3 runs on these guys. And obviously I talked about it with Ahaan before we started the show here. The Brewers shouldn't have even scored those 3 runs after the Yelich homer, right? That ball literally was right down the middle. He calls that out. It's a 1-1 game heading into the 6th. You'd probably still have Stroman out in the bump. And that game probably turns a little bit different than the shootout that ended up happening after. So I think this is a little bit of a letdown spot after the Brewers blew it yesterday. But I think the Reds come out and start hot. Obviously, big division matchup, 1 versus 2 in the division.
Yeah, I think you kind of nailed it earlier with that. I mean, anytime your team is in the same statistical category as the Athletics, you know that is definitely bad news. I'm very familiar with that as a Nationals fan myself. Yeah, Abbott's been insane, man. It's crazy. The production we're getting from these young guys immediately this year is just so insane. So obviously I've been betting on him a couple times so far this year. And hey, there's no one I'd rather go to war with than you fading the Brewers. So give me the hottest team in baseball right now, 21-6 since Ellie De La Cruz was called up.
Yeah, and I expect regression from Abbott. I do expect it, but this isn't a spot where I expect that to happen. Like some of the underlying numbers probably going to start seeing a little bit more runs across the plate here given up by him. But like I said, Yelich doesn't hit lefties well. He's better than what he was like last year, right? Rowdy can hit lefties. I mean, you're really depending on maybe we're going to see Brian Anderson, but he's not in the lineup because he's on leave right now. So, right, there's a lot of these right-handed guys like Turan can hit lefties, right? A lot of these dudes do struggle with facing left-handed pitching. So I don't really see the regression coming in this spot. I do expect it later in the year, but Give me plus money on it. I think it's pretty fair. I was like minus 128 or 30, so I'll take the plus money. All right, talking about plus money. Last one of the day. Stu taking over Boston.
Yeah, I hope our guy Plus Money Bob's in here. 3 straight plus money bets right here. Ended it off with Justin Turner over 2.5 hits, plus runs, plus RBIs. I was taking a very close look at the top of this Boston lineup. And I mean, to be honest, when you look at these hits, runs, RBIs market, we talk about it all the time. You're not just betting on an individual. You're betting on kind of that team equity, right? It's not just how many hits can you get, how many runs can you score it, or will there be RBI chances? And I absolutely love what Justin Turner provides us with. I think he gives us a little bit of everything right here, coming in with an RBI in 6 straight games, a multi-hit game in 4 of his last 5 games, and a run scored in 4 of his last 5 games. So I like that we're getting it done in multiple different ways right here, and it's pretty easy to explain that. This front of that Boston lineup is very, very good. He has a lot of protection, right? You got Devers behind you. You have Verdugo. You have Yoshida. You have tons of guys that you can't pitch around. And these are guys that get on base in multiple ways. So it's not even just, the singles. We got guys with very high walk rates at the top of this lineup, which is why I didn't just play the hits. And when we talk about walks, that is very important for the pitcher on the other side. Medina has thrown 5 and 7 walks in his last 2 starts. What is going on with this guy? Absolutely all over the place. 8th percentile walk percentage on Baseball Savant was a surprise. I thought it'd be worse. I'm happy for him that he's made it to the 8th percentile. I was guessing 1st percentile, but hey, you're thinking, okay, let's check. With the rest of the Baseball Savant page, that'll make up for it. No, this guy is not over 20th percentile in any stat category that matters for starting pitcher right here. X slugging, XBA, barrel percentage. The guy is not avoiding anything right here. And I really like the front of this Boston lineup. And Turner has all the momentum. Over 400 in July, over 600 slugging, over 300 at home on the season. Turner, I don't think I've played him on the road this year. I think I've probably played him 6 or 7 times. I don't think a single one of those was on the road. The final thing I'll say, he does have that similar progression to Lane Thomas as well, where he started the year hitting very poorly against right-handed batters. He was really a guy who was only looking to target against lefties. But that's finally turned around, right? We saw 240, 250 most of the year. We're up to 280. So when you look at over the last month, he's hitting over 300 against those right-handed pitchers. Definitely love to see that right here. And obviously Medina is way worse against righties than lefties on the season, allowing a 290 batting average. So tons of opportunities. I love that he can get it done in multiple different ways right here. And I love that we're getting that plus money.
Yeah, I know, Ahaan, you're a Boston fan. What's your thoughts?
Justin Turner is the absolute man right now. The line is 2.5 for a reason, right? Like, people are always like, "Oh, the line is big, so we take the under." No, like, it's high for a reason. And Medina, I like the fact that we're going to the hits, runs, RBIs here, because Medina will obviously walk his fair share of hitters. The Athletics will throw the ball wherever, not where they want to. So we could cash this in a ton of ways. I get a little scared taking hits, runs, RBIs prop, like 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs props in general, especially when they're the home team. They're in a game where I think they'll only get 8 innings to hit. But that's why it's plus money, right? So I do like this price, and hopefully it's not a sweat and he can just drive a couple in early.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, could just walk the bases loaded and walk you in, get you an RBI on just that, right? We could definitely see that. That's not out of the realm of possibility for Mr. Medina, who's, struggle bus would be saying it nicely, right? So we will go through our recap here. We'll go through a quick recap. Then it's time for some long shots, guys. Stu hit his last show. We were 2 off from an 11-1. Like I said, 2 runs off of a 61-1 parlay if you threw them together. And let's get it rolling here. I'll kick it to you, Stu, for your recap, and then we will get it going with our long shot here.
Sounds good. Start out Justin Turner over 2.5 hits, plus runs, plus RBIs, plus 110 over on BetMGM and DraftKings. Then we got a hit parlay. Lane train continues. We're going Lane Thomas and Ahmed Rosario to both record a hit. That is minus 128 over on FanDuel.
Perfect. We'll kick it over to Ahaan's 2 spots.
Got Adolis Garcia over 1.5 total bases. It's minus 125 on DraftKings, and I think minus 125 right now as well on FanDuel. You can get it there as well, half a unit on that. And Michael Harris, I believe this is only available on DraftKings. This market over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs plus money, plus 110 at half a unit.
Beautiful. I'll be rolling with the Rangers team total over 5.5 and minus 120. And also the Reds' first 5 money line there as well at plus money spots. I did see we have a comment. I'm talking about money lines on that first 5, or for the money line for some dogs. I already mentioned the Reds for the first 5. I know Jimmy talked about how the Reds were one of his other options he was looking at there. Is there a dog sticking out to you guys? I mean, it's tough because there's some dogs on this slate at minus 105, right? So it's like we'll go with plus money dogs. We'll go with that because there's quite a few of these ones that are just so close to the line that we're not even getting plus money.
Yeah, I mean, what are we thinking about? Are the Mets going to keep their winning streak alive right here? I mean, that's kind of my first thought, right? Obviously got some momentum. Alvarez got hit with the pitch yesterday, got a little benches clear in action, even though we got no actual fighting right there. Mets are feisty. Verlander on the mound right here. I think that's a solid plus money underdog.
Where are we going? What spot is it?
First off, I'll say I will be shocked. I will tip my cap if every single favorite on the slate wins today. There's going to be underdogs winning today, so I like looking at plus money lines. I make a money line bomb every day. Haven't made mine yet. Still got some labbing to do, but one that does stand out to me is probably maybe the grossest one on the slate. Pittsburgh Pirates at plus 170. These are two teams that are on losing streaks. You got Zach Gallen on the mound for Arizona. No way the Cy Young favorite loses at home, right? He gets it right. There's no way that the Diamondbacks continue losing to inferior teams like this, right? There's no way, right? But on a more serious note, Rich Hill got a pretty good matchup today. Corbin Carroll likely out of the lineup. Zach Gallen, I'm not too impressed with his pitch repertoire against a Pirates lineup that is not bad if you just don't look at the fact that Austin Hedges starts for them. So I think maybe a low-scoring game, and the Pirates just played a pretty competitive series against the Dodgers. I think that's probably the best value on the board.
I mean, to be honest, when I was looking through, I can't really hate on that too much either. It's one of those situations you hinted at it. It's where the whole world goes, guys, this is the most obvious pick in the world right here. Pick against them, and then they win. It's how it goes. You've been on here long enough. I think most people in the chat have been here long enough where when something just seems a little bit too good to be true, maybe that's because it is. And you already know every single one of those VIP 500-unit cappers definitely has that Gallen leg as one of theirs in the 2-leg parlay for tonight's max play. So I don't hate that at all.
I don't like the strikeouts on Gallen, but I might play the win just because he's at home. I've been pretty successful on the plus money wins at home with him. He's got like a 1.4 ERA at home. He sucks on the road. I looked at his numbers. He's pushing Jordan Lyles numbers, but Jordan Lyles, obviously Jordan Lyles is like an 11 and an 8, so it's a little different with a 1.5 at home versus that. Dude, I think I'm gonna go with the Royals. I think it's disgusting, but I think I'm gonna go with the Royals at plus 150. I love fading Savali, dude. I've done it. I love it. Lynch, I know obviously is not very good, but he does have strikeout upside. I played him a few times in DK, and he's actually paid off his price successfully quite a few times. I know that the Guardians don't really strike out. I know he's got like an 18% K rate for the whole team against righties. Against lefties, they're a little bit worse. Their team is turning it around a little bit, but plus 150 just seems a little bit off for any start that Aaron Savali is in. I will definitely go on the other side there, whether I want to play the run line, whatever it is. But I'll take the plus 150. I think that's a pretty big price for what it is with this Royals.
Yeah, I'll just say the Guardians, their offense is kind of okay now, which is all you need it to be. You just need it to be not anemic. They were absolutely anemic for a month. Absolutely nothing. But Ramirez, Naylor, we're starting to finally put some things together. I'm not saying they're going to score 8 runs for you today. I'm just saying I actually almost did take the Guardians in a play, and I'm still kind of thinking about it. I like when that offense is just moving a little bit. That's really all this team needs.
And you talk about somebody being hot. I think Bobby Witt he's got like 7 hits in his last 14. Drew Waters isn't awful anymore.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Savale is a guy that is regression is going to hit him, no doubt about it, right? But the Royals, the team that doesn't slug whatsoever, that hits less homers than the Nationals, is not the team that I think is going to take advantage of it. It's why I love the Quantrill angle so much against the Dodgers, right? A guy that doesn't miss bats. You want to punish him with power. You don't want to punish him with double plays, which is what the Royals do. So I'm probably going to pick against the Royals, and now I'm fired up, so I'm definitely going to pick against the Royals.
All right, now I'm definitely on the other side of Stu. This has been nice for me. If you guys want our record head-to-head right now is pretty much screwed my way. All I'm saying is the Royals stole like 5 bases in the first 5 innings yesterday. They don't need to hit home runs. Like, we know they're not going to hit home runs. But first pitch swipes 3 times in the first 3 innings. Like, that's what they're trying to do. Like, I know they're not swinging for the fence. The only dude who's probably got any pop is obviously Sal Perez. You got MJ Melendez swinging his entire body, trying to corkscrew himself into the ground to hit home runs. The dude's almost falling out of the batter's box. But, hey, Lion Squirrel finds one once in a while, right? So, hey, maybe it'll run into Savali throwing that 90-mile-an-hour right over the dick, right? So, we'll see.
Not to make this 1v1 much more feisty, but I'll say this about that game. Aaron Savali's brother, Nick Savali, that's my boy. I worked with him for a little bit. Love that dude. I'll say this, all that aside, I don't know what action I'll have on this game, but I know Guardians money line will not be on my slate. I'll say that.
That's just such a big price, dude. You're paying 2-1.
Well, chill out. I'm not playing it solo. This is my VIP lock of the week or anything. Let's calm down here. I'm just saying I like the Guardians. I need to play them today. God damn. I might play but I don't want to play the run line with the Guardians because they don't.
No, but if you parlay it with Victor Wembanyama, rookie of the year, it should be free, right?
No. We're not doing that here. I'm a Victor hater, and I'm exciting to establish that once we get towards NBA content as well. But yeah, that's for another time. Summer League plays. You can find those on Twitter, baby.
All right, let's keep it rolling. Angels was brought up by somebody out there. Is that a spy you're looking? Canning gives up too many bombs for me, but that's
he does, but his numbers are better than I thought when I were looking at them this morning because I was thinking about playing Freddie Freeman off the homer yesterday. I just will have to say Canning's numbers are a little better than I expected. I thought he's a little bit more of a gas can than he is, especially on the road. Been pretty good on the road, so I don't mind the Angels, but I don't want to play that lineup without these stars. No Mike Trout. That's a disgusting lineup. Obviously, Ohtani's got the finger blister. I'm not a doctor. I have no clue how much that's impacting him, but it's at least something to note. So, disgusting lineup, but I don't hate the price either, to be honest.
I'm not a Tony Gonsolin super fan. I approve.
Love it there. I don't think we really talked about, I guess, we don't need to go into specifics here, but is there anybody that you've looked at so far? I know obviously it's still, before noon Central over here. So obviously we still got a lot of work to do for the rest of this slate. Only dropping 2 spots here. Is there any guys that have kind of caught your eye that you might be looking at? Not anything official, nothing like that, but spots where you might be able to find some value there.
I will say I was looking at Abbott against your Brewers just because it's the Brewers. That's kind of the quite obvious one. Beyond that, I was kind of curious. Rodon unders. I know he's an absolute god, but the pitch count has got to be real low, right? You're playing for a World Series this year, even if you're not actually on the road. Sorry, Yankees fan, not on the road. But that's theoretically your goal. No way Rodon's coming back and throwing, more than 80 pitches? I don't know.
I will say someone in the chat says Framber, Kays, and Stroh's money line. I can guarantee that won't hit today. Framber's not pitching. It's Hunter Brown.
Hunter Brown, baby.
I'm really tempted to say Hunter Brown. He's been an absolute wagon for me. I've cashed ladders on him. He's never lost a bet for me. But he's not my favorite pitcher in that game today. I love Luis Castillo. I have some exposure on his Ks already. Also, Andrew Abbott is chalky, but I think it makes sense. His underlying metrics are not very encouraging, but I don't, like Stu said, I don't think the Brewers are the team to welcome him to the major leagues in that way by any means. Also, it's weird to say that this guy is now a sneaky look. But Justin Verlander is a sneaky look today against this Padres lineup. Padres been can a lot recently, and I know they face some tough matchups, but Verlander at his best can be one of those tough matchups. So I think we're getting a little bit of a discount on him as well. So those 3 have been on my short list. I have played 1 strikeout prop already, but I'm saving it for the long shots.
Beautiful, beautiful. We are ready to go. All right, Ahaan, I'll let you kick it off. You are the guest. Ahaan, long shot. We're going.
Wait. I thought we discussed I'm going last. You're not going to sneak that by me like, no. You guys are going first.
Well, Stu's, I'm sure, is going to be like plus 150, so we'll let him go first.
Okay, sounds good. We're rolling with Marcel Ozuna to hit a homer right here, plus 465. I was warned that I'm not going to beat anyone apparently in the odds today, so I had to, be a little bit more reserved. I think this is a great slate for long shots. I think I would definitely have a couple more. I've been doing pretty good on these Friday long shots as well, but I do like what Ozuna provides in terms of how's he hitting against the four-seamer right here, because Glasnow's really been relying on that. Obviously, I was looking at the stats earlier, saw the barrel rate. We know Atlanta's not the team that you want to have that barrel rate against. He was really relying on the four-seamer when getting down in counts. That is by far Ozuna's best pitch so far. 301 expected batting average for Marcel Ozuna, by the way, and 660 expected slugging right here. I think he takes advantage of a sneaky solid matchup right here and goes yards. So one of the more underrated guys in this lineup. Not the best price in the world. I was hoping I could get it in the fives maybe, but it's clear the sports books looked at that barrel rate before I did.
Alrighty. Let's pull mine up here. Not how crazy I've been going lately, just because Ahaan kind of, we got to guess. I'll let him take the long one today. Can't let Stu take it past me, but I'm going to do my long shot on my alternate first fives like I've been doing. I'm going to do one with the run line first. So I'm going to go Astros first five minus 1.5. That's plus 230, right? Something that I do love Luis Castillo, right? But he is not getting any run support in any of these games that he's throwing in, unfortunately, as a guy who's obviously backed his wins and Cy Young. It would look a little bit better if they gave him maybe 3 runs a game, but I think Hunter Brown bounces back against the Seattle team. I think we start to see maybe get 2-3 runs. I mean, we just saw it with the Braves that I just took in the last one at minus 3.5, right? They scored 5, and Soroka just decided to shove and not give up any runs, right? So we could just see 2 runs win this for us to get us there. But I definitely think Hunter Brown against this Mariners team, this Mariners offense has been really, really struggling lately. And the Rangers first 5. I think the Rangers, I think they have a chance to hit this in the first 5 by themselves. They've done it last week, right? They did it on their own in the first 5 last week. So obviously I think that Bradford is not I don't know. I don't even think he's really MLB ready yet, right? I mean, he hasn't really shown us anything. You already called Stone Garrett homer. I'll be fine with that. We'll be fine with a lane train homer, right? I think that he's going to give up some power here, especially if it's as hot as Stu is saying it is out there. This ball could be flying out there. So I have done the first 5 over alternate total with the Rangers twice. Knock on wood. That is 2-0. Both of them over plus 200. This one's sitting at plus 190. Astros at plus 230. Get me around plus 825 there. I think is an absolutely pretty crazy price.
Yeah, and before we get into Hans, too, I feel bad for Terrence. He's going to be putting together a crazy long shot today because we obviously have, finally, a Hans long shot, which he hyped up to us in DMs. Going to be better than ours, bigger than ours, possibly the best long shot we've ever had on the show. Let us know. What is it, buddy?
Oh, Christ,
I think I said 0 of those things. I just said that I have a few up my quiver just in case you have some long shots. You guys come in here with plus 823s. I was much more worried than I should have been. So yeah, you see it on the screen right now, and you might think I'm crazy, but hear me out. I got this at plus 9,100 in the morning, by the way. So it was plus 7,000. I used the Pitching Ninja 30% boost to get it to plus 9,100. But I'm still fine taking it plus 5,000. I'll take this down to plus 3,000, actually. So here's the case for Rich Hill. I was talking about the Pirates earlier with this reeling Diamondbacks offense. We're getting Zach Gallen on the other side, and there's this, these conspiracy theories that veteran pitchers, when they face other elite pitchers like on the other side, they lock in more, etc. I don't think there's actually any data to back that up long term, but you have that if that helps you at all. The real baseball reason here, though, is the Diamondbacks. They are no longer this heavy contact rate team recently. Against left-handed pitchers last few weeks, they've been top 10 in K rate versus left-handed pitchers, especially in the first 6 innings, which is what Rich Hill is trying to go for here. And you look at his ladder options, and the highest one you have here is 9+ at 1,400. And I've seen pitchers win the daily Ks, market with 8 or 9. So I think we're getting extreme value here. Even if he wins this in a 3-way tie, you're getting a better payout than plus 1,400. And he basically only gets whiffs with the 4-seam fastball, which he just sneaks in at random times. He lets out this extremely sexual moan, and then this 4-seam fastball comes out of nowhere, and he gets whiffs on that, and he gets a whiff off his sweeper. And Arizona been terrible, bottom 5 in run value per 100 versus curveballs, which a sweeper is a variation of a curveball, and against 4-seam fastballs over the last 30 days. Corbin Carroll's not going to be in the lineup today, and I know Corbin Carroll does contribute to a lot of those Ks, but without him, it should be a little easier to get through this lineup. So I think this price is a little absurd. Rich Hills might get 2 Ks today, but this price for him to get 8 or 9 and possibly win this, even in a 2-way tie, it's plus 2,500 payout. I think it's too good. You have to take it.
Yeah, no, we talked about this, I think 2 or 3 shows ago, right? So I would rather roll with this than, trying to go for his 3.5, or 4.5. That's minus, that's juiced up, right? So I did it with Beto, I think it was a couple days ago. Obviously, I'm like, he could get none and he could get 9. Dude got none, right? So I look stupid, but I'm saying the odds, you're only losing 1 unit, or for this one, probably maybe like 0.1 units, right? And you still end up getting a nice payout if you are right. But it's like, you want to play, if we're going to play ladders, like these are long shots, right, guys? Like these, we're not saying, hey, go throw a full thing on this one. I ain't playing, $100 on this, right? Just know what you're playing on this, right? Understand that this is a long shot, but this is something like we talked about. I'd rather play this than, 3.5 Ks at minus 130, right? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, especially if you think they got the upside that they do. And obviously Corbin Carroll being out, Corbin Carroll rakes lefties too. So it's like, that's something that definitely is nice to have in the back pocket, having, second or third guy in NL MVP sitting down, that's a big sit.
And with this daily Ks market, I never take. Yeah, I always take. I think this appears every Friday. I think that's the case. And I always take just the longest shot on the board that I think has a realistic shot, right? And I never take the chalk, and I only take one of these. I know some people take a few of these and hope one of them hits, but I take one of these, and it's always the longest of shots that I think has any shot. And I think I've taken it 8 times this market, 8 times this year, and 7 out of the 8 times, my guy has either won or been the runner-up, and I purely take like plus 1,500 to plus 5,000, like that range. So there's clearly value here. I think the most painful one was Michael Wacha a few weeks ago. He was plus 5,000, and he finished with 8 Ks, and the leader had 9. So there's definitely value in this daily Ks leader, especially when you get this guy doesn't have a ladder that will give you that payout. Why not just take the daily Ks leader? He could win with less than his ladder.
No, I like that. I like that point at the end too. Obviously, I always want to be very price sensitive, want to be price shopping as much as possible. And I like what you said. You laid out a good path to upside right here. I'll be telling you, we know Rich, we know what he is at this point, but hey, you can get a little bit deeper into these games, which is always something I like in this market. And like you said, it's just a process of elimination. For me, I look through, I take out about 10 guys, and you're like, okay, Rich Hill, he's still alive. He could do this maybe. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a double take, but you've eliminated all these other guys. And you're like, okay, I can see this happening. So I support it right here. And yeah, like you said in the chat, this is over on FanDuel Sportsbook. It started out every Friday. They're doing it a little bit more now too. They're slipping.
Yeah, I've seen it on Monday slates too.
Yep.
See on Wednesdays when they got the full one, Tuesdays as well. So yeah, dude, I saw a few people's tickets on this one. That was disgusting.
That was me.
That was disgusting, bro. Like, god damn. I saw yours. I think there was one other guy who posted. I don't remember who it was. Sorry for not remembering if somebody who's in here, but yeah, man, fuck.
112 pitches.
120? Oh
yeah,
my God, bro.
Canning's career high in pitches that before that night was 102, and he came out with 6 Ks. So Josiah Gray was a leader at 8, and Griffin Canning came out, had already thrown 101 pitches or something like that. Came out and struck out the side against the D-backs, by the way, who we targeted today.
Ooh.
Against the D-backs, and struck out the side to get to 9.
So,
Good times.
So now I'm almost like, is this a makeup one where you're just going at the D-backs because of hate? So now it's like I'm conflicted now. It's just like, is he just trying to get it back on him? But if he
I honestly forgot about
that'd be
this.
hype.
Yeah, I must have been off Twitter that weekend because I don't know if I could have handled that loss the way you handled. Like, I would have probably been off Twitter for, especially my Nationals too, having that Gray. Oh my God, that is That is a brutal beat right there. But hey, that's why we're going to make up for it.
Josiah Gray was in a four-way tie at 11:20 p.m. At 11:21 p.m., that ticket lost.
All right. Well, on that note, while we'll get you guys out of here, right? Let's close it up on shop here, just so we don't bring your guys' energy too far down, right? Because obviously some of these tickets do, some of them hurt. So, Ahaan, where can the people find you? Where can we find all your content? Where can we find all your articles and stuff like that?
So my Twitter at Ahaan Rungta is where I post most of my content. I have not gotten with the times yet and gotten other social media apps. I believe I'm staying here for the time being. I'm staying on Twitter, and unfortunately I have this blue check mark now. But that's where you can see my baseball content, basketball content, and football content. I'm going to have a lot of this coming week is going to be my first bit of NFL action coming in as well through Player Profiler, and I'll tweet out everything. And I'm in the Parlay Signs Discord as well, where I post a lot of long shots. But my main card always gets posted to Twitter, so that's where you can find me. Appreciate you guys for having me on.
Stu.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously I'll have my odds checker articles like always on Twitter later today. You can also find me. I'll probably have some summer league plays. I think my BMR play will be a summer league one today. I'm super excited to look into that. All these young guys playing their first real basketball. That should be a lot of fun as well. So plenty of betting action today. Huge MLB slate. There will definitely be more bets. Make sure to follow over on Twitter for all that action, as well as Discord. Take it all those other places you can find our content. And hey, if you still have any questions, you weren't able to make it in live, drop those comments. We're here 24/7. Ahaan is just like us, guys. He's built from the same vein. Great analysis. He's here to help you guys, right? There's no paywall. There's no crazy celebrity or anything like that. We're all just trying to win bets out here. So make sure to follow him if you haven't already.
Yeah, I should have an article out in a little bit here. We would like to thank Ahaan for joining us today. Hopefully we'll be able to have you on, maybe some NBA, NFL in the future. You know where we're at. Always welcome to have you on here. And hopefully we're able to cash some tickets with you guys. So thank you guys. We appreciate all you guys in here. We appreciate still having 35 of you guys in here an hour later after hearing us talk our shit out here. So hit that like button on your way out. We appreciate you. Go follow Ahaan. Hopefully we'll see him again on the show soon. Have a good weekend, guys, and good luck tonight.